Welcome. Wow, what a great crowd. Thank you all for coming. We're really excited to have Jim here again. And Dr. Kramer could not be here this week. So here we are, myself and Mary are trying to, the two of us, fill her big shoes. So just wanted to say welcome. Mary Frey is a regular attendee at this group. And she is going to do us the honor of introducing Jim today. And the reason we asked Mary to do that is that she's an 18-year practitioner of Tai Chi. Wow. And so can speak a little bit to benefits that she's seen from that practice. And then Jim will take it over from there. So here's Mary. Welcome to her.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, when she said 18-year practitioner, just a student. That's all I am. But a very loyal, disciplined student. And that's the way you see the benefits from Tai Chi, staying with it. There are many, many health benefits, psychological benefits, and everything like that. But unfortunately, people who come to Tai Chi, especially the school that I go to, don't stay with it. And they don't stay with it long enough to see the benefits. And that's one thing that you have to do. It's hard to make time to go. You have to push yourself. You don't feel like it or what have you. But once you get into it, you don't have to make time anymore. It becomes a routine. It becomes the thing to do. And you actually start to see the benefits. They are very, very individual. They're different for different people. But that's all I'm going to say because we want to get onto our very eminent speaker here and practitioner. Now this is a master, Jim Olson. He has done Qigong, let alone Tai Chi, yoga, and acupuncture, and 38 years now. Is that correct?
Well, it's about 39 now because it's a year later from last year when we did this last talk. So, yep.
Fellow martial arts person, I would like to introduce Jim Olson.
Thank you. So, I'm not going to use the mic because I need my hands. So, usually I can project pretty well with what we're doing. So I had this video going, just a screenshot. So I am a martial artist, a graphic artist, and a photographer. So all these things kind of came together over the years, but I started doing the martial arts when I was 16. So as time evolved, I started getting into the graphical end of putting it on paper, what I've been doing, so as to present a better image of what we're trying to accomplish. And not everybody learns the same way. Hence the reason why I got this whiteboard here. Oftentimes people will read. You got to read. That's how they absorb it. Other people, they're very visual in how they see things. I try to present both. Good explanations plus some type of graphical interaction where you can kind of see. So that's a kind of a challenge for yourselves to see is how do you learn? Is it by your sound of hearing things or the sight of what you see? Maybe a combination of both. When we do the classes, a lot of times you're doing movements and you feel your body, and that's another type of memory. It's muscle memory, feeling where you're comfortable, where your body's supposed to be from continuously doing it. So we're going to go away from that, and if you don't mind, the chairs are all on rollers. Just pivot a little bit, 90 degrees. Yes?
Can everybody hear Jim?
Can everybody hear me? Can anybody not hear me? So we're a friendly group. I suggest if you need to hear a little bit better or see a little bit better, move a little closer. The chairs are on wheels. You can move close. I just need a little bit of space in front here to be able to move back and forth. So if you cannot hear me, you cannot see me at this point, I'm assuming that you're good to go with where you're at. Okay? So let's forget about all this stuff for a moment. Everybody's sitting comfortably in their chair. Let's do a short little breathing exercise because that will help put your focus in the room and it'll help me relax a little bit in what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes. So, is there an extra chair around? I will grab this chair right here. Thank you much. Oh, and I do videotape a lot of my classes and the presentations and that because oftentimes there'll be people that can't come and they're like, oh, I really wish I would have seen it and heard about what you're talking about. So I'll put it up on YouTube. or on other places on the internet. I have a website, so that they can gain the benefit of listening. Even if you don't like what I'm talking about, it doesn't make any sense, you're never going to do it, maybe there's that one small little part, something that clicks that gets you moving in a direction to be in better shape or take care of yourself. Okay? So the exercise we're going to do, instead of being back in the chair like this, oh, these chairs are comfortable. These are nice. So we're going to scoot up a little bit so that your back is not on the backrest. So what that'll do right from the start is make your spine somewhat more straight up and down, right? So I don't want to be arched real hard. I don't want to be rounded like this. I want to be kind of neutral, comfortable position. Take your hands and put them on your thighs with the palms facing up. Squeeze into a tight fist for a moment. Everybody feels the tension. Release that fist. Let it go loose. So that way you kind of have some contrast between where we don't want to be. Don't want to be here. Don't want to be tense and tight with our shoulders tight and our neck. Want those to relax. Want my hands to relax. So we're going to work our way from the top of our body down all the way towards our feet. Okay, so the first thing, my head's already pointed towards the ceiling, right? As opposed to being here. So my head's upright. My shoulders are relaxed and down. You can let your eyes get a little heavy. If you want to close them, that's fine. Don't fall asleep on me, though. Maybe just a little bit of light can shine through them. So now we're going to work our way down. Inhale through your nose. Try and exhale through your nose. If you can't exhale in and out through your nose, then through your mouth or whatever way is comfortable. Inhale, squeeze the tongue up the roof of your mouth. And you exhale, let the tongue go to the bottom of your mouth. So if your mouth is open, you're breathing through your mouth, maybe only about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. I don't need to see everybody's dental work and what you had for breakfast. I just want you to breathe deep, right? Inhale, in through the nose, out through the nose. Tongue goes up, tongue goes down. All right, so when I exhale, I'm going to put my hand on my stomach just so I got an idea of what I'm doing here, right? When I exhale, I'm going to try to pull my stomach muscles back. When I go to inhale, I just relax my stomach. So what that does is it engages the stomach muscles to move the diaphragm, which move the lungs more. You can put your hand back where it was on your knees. Keep the rhythm. If I don't tell you to breathe, doesn't mean stop breathing. Keep breathing deep on your own. So the more we move the diaphragm, the organs get kind of jostled around. They move up and down with each breath. So you're actually exercising your organs even though you're sitting still in the chair. That's very good for you. All right, let's keep working our way down. So my hands and shoulders are relaxed. Ideally, you don't want your knees to be higher than your thighs. That probably only pertains to me, because if you're over 6 foot tall, then you might have your knees up high because of the way the geometry is. Most of you probably are fine with your knees being lower than your thighs. All right? Squeeze your toes. Squeeze your toes into your shoes, into the ground. Now put a little effort by your big toe, your little toe, and your heel touching the ground. Even though we're not standing up, I'd like you to be aware of those parts of your foot. Big toe, little toe, your heel. And we'll come back to that later as we go into some of the other things we're going to talk about. So let's do 3 more deep breaths. Everybody's been breathing deep all along, even though I'm talking, right? Inhale deep. Stomach is expanded. Exhale, squeeze your stomach muscles. Inhale deep. Tongue is going up. Exhale, tongue goes down. One more deep one. This time, I'd like you to raise your hands up to your face. And like you're holding onto a ball. When you breathe out, bring the ball back down as you squish your stomach. How's everybody feel? Feel good? Relaxed? Sleepy? Sometimes people fall asleep doing that. So now you can adjust and do whatever you need to so you can sit more comfortably. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson today and maybe some other things. Oh, what's that? Kid's toy, right? You know what this is? This is the basis of what we're doing in the room today. It's called a tensegrity model, or toy, tensegrity toy. They give them to the kids, little babies. They play with these and push them around. But what the object of it is with this class is anytime you move one part of it, another part moves also. It's all connected. So when we do our exercises, just say I'm going running. There's many dimensions to what's happening there. Your arms are moving, you're running, your heart's increasing, heart rate, your breathing's getting deeper. So things are engaged. That's kind of like this, but when we do Qigong or Tai Chi, we're going in many different directions, many different planes. When we run, mostly it's one direction, linear. You're really not turning your spine a whole lot as you're running. That might look kind of weird. So when we get back to doing these exercises, this will make a little bit more sense. All right? So the history lesson is, what is Tai Chi? Got to start with that. Is it a martial art? Is it a fitness program? Is it a religion? It could be all the above. Religion and philosophy sometimes get kind of confusing because people have their belief system. So on a basic level, we're moving our body, so it's exercise. As the years passed, they did use it for self-defense as a martial art. And then there is philosophy that's attached to it that makes you more self-aware. If you choose to pursue that with your religion or just being a good person or your lifestyle, that's all kind of up to you. So I don't get into that part too much with everybody, because if you're doing the first part of being physical, moving your body, usually you start to figure out some of the philosophy on your own. So let's go to a tree. Roots. So even though I'm a graphical artist, my stuff up there looks better usually than what it does here. So if I draw this stuff, usually this gets you a little bit more engaged with what we're doing. If you keep looking at the same slideshow picture over and over again, you have a tendency to start to want to check your phone. We don't want you checking your phone. We want you to be engaged with what we're doing. So I got the big board. So Qigong is connected to Tai Chi. Does anybody know what Qigong is? That's the breathing aspect of what we're doing. Qi is air in Chinese, or breath, life force, energy. Is a lot of different translations for it. Gong is the same as gung, like kung fu, gong. It's the same thing. That means work. And it's not just any kind of work. It's deliberate, focused, disciplined work. So Qigong is breath work, air work. What we just did sitting in the chair is just sitting Qigong. I'll demonstrate moving Qigong. Moving Qigong would look something maybe like this. I'm moving my body, but I'm also monitoring my breath. Or something maybe like this. So there's all different types of movements in Qigong that look kind of like yoga, but standing and moving. So we're going to put yoga in the roots down here. Qigong is a bit more of the standing and moving practices. You go to yoga school these days, they're teaching yoga flow, where you move from one exercise to the next. So it looks kind of like, it's a set of movements that are moving. That's pretty much what Qigong is, either standing, light moving, or a connected series of movements. And that's where Tai Chi comes into play, which would be over here. We got Tai Chi. So if this means air work or energy work, what's Tai Chi mean? Different words put together have different meanings. It means the ultimate fist or the supreme ultimate. So it depends how you're looking at it. From martial art point of view, supreme fist means power, right? Defense. Supreme ultimate, that could be, a higher power, God. It could be you feeling good about yourself. So there's a lot of philosophy and things for interpretation with some of these exercises. So when did yoga and Qigong start? Thousands of years ago. The reason I'm giving you a history lesson with some of this is because these have proven the test of time. It's not like I just started doing, hey, let's invent something. Let's do a new exercise program. Did you guys see that mirror? They got a mirror now. You buy the mirror, you stand in front of it, and you watch yourself doing the exercises, but then it has like an LED thing in the mirror, and it tells you what exercises to do, how fast to do them, maybe your heart rate. It's like, I got a mirror, and I'm doing my exercises in front of it. Wow. Costs about $1,000. I don't need $1,000 to exercise. I can do very good with what we're going to do with the class and the exercises today. So Qigong and yoga have been around for 1500 BC to 3300 BC. How do they know this? They've seen pictures scrawled on cave walls and things like that, right? So where did Tai Chi come from? Because Tai Chi is way up here. Kung Fu came about around the 4th to 5th century. Before it was Kung Fu, you had monks in China that were up in the mountains meditating for spiritual purposes. But the problem was they would sit so long that they did not get in good shape. If you sit in a chair for too much, what happens? Your body gets kind of lethargic and out of shape, right? So an Indian guy from the yoga from India, is a Buddhist monk, made his way to China and started teaching the monks exercises based upon animals, getting the bodies to move like birds and monkeys and snakes and things like that. So that's kind of the basis of where Kung Fu came about. A couple centuries later, 12th to 13th century, my writing's not really good on the board, Tai Chi came about. And the way that supposedly was, the person that was a martial artist was watching animals, and there was a crane and a snake, and they were fighting each other. And they were both holding their own. You would have thought maybe the snake would bite the crane. The crane was agile enough that it kept darting around, and its beak kind of kept pecking at the snake. So it was a stalemate. And he had some kind of brilliant enlightenment that, wow, the human body could maybe move kind of like that. So that's what happened. Tai Chi came about. And then there's this other thing that came about in about the 16th to 19th centuries, which is based upon a figure 8. And that's called Bagua. Pretty cool stuff. So again, why the history lesson? Because it gives some depth to where this stuff is coming from. A lot of hospitals around the country now, health centers, it's like, oh, we're trying something new. We're going to try this Tai Chi stuff. Or some Qigong. Oh, this is the new stuff. It's not new. It's been around. Kung Fu and Tai Chi and Bagua for hundreds of years. The basis of those things have been around for thousands of years. So it's not new. It's new to our culture because that's how we're looking at it. So any questions on any of that stuff so far? Does that make sense? So I'll give you a little demonstration of what Qigong, I already did a little demonstration what Qigong is. A little demonstration of Tai Chi, just like a short little set would be from here. So not taking up a whole lot of space, just smooth and fluid, kind of flowery, right? This stuff over here, Bagua with the figure 8, B-A-G-U-A, is all about spiraling and twisting the body. All right. So I teach all these things when I teach a class. It's not just Tai Chi, because there's many dimensions to what you can develop. Sometimes people do exercise and their knees hurt. It's like, I can't do that. Well, maybe we can do something different. Next week we'll do a different series of exercises. Next month it's more balance. We're going to stand on one leg for a lot. So we'll go from here to here. So this exercise has a lot more balance. So then some people have a hard time with that. So maybe they don't lift their leg as much. They don't work on, this high, but they work down here. So the point being that there's many different ways that you can stay healthy doing these kind of exercises. Any questions? Do we need an intermission? No. You guys are all so attentive and quiet. So what ends up happening, I don't want to just be talking. Occasionally someone will have a question. I'll go, Jim, I got a question. So, okay. Then we answer that in the class. The explanation of what we're doing kind of goes in that direction for a little bit. if you're not all going to distract me with any questions, then I'm going to keep going about what I plan.
I've got one.
Yes.
Also, if you're not able to stand it,
Really? Is that something you're telling me? That new? So Pamela's been coming to my classes for about the last 2-3 years now. Has it been that long? Three years? You've been coming to my classes for about the last 3 years, I think, right?
yeah, it's amazing. But you have to teach it.
Well, that's another topic of discussion. See, you're steering the direction a different way now. So at the class, I try to do mostly movement and exercise, explain what we're doing, for about 80% of it, and then 20% I'm talking. But occasionally people will be standing, it's like, come on, Jim, can we keep going, keep going? It's important to know why you're doing these things so that you can start to get some of the benefits, especially mentally, of what you're trying to accomplish. So this wasn't part of the routine, but let's go there. So in the martial arts world, you have different levels of what you're trying to accomplish. You start out as being a warrior because that's where you need to be. They need an army. They needed armies back in the day to defend. After you get to a certain point, you realize the self-defense and martial end of it's not that important. So you start figuring out how the body works. That's the scholar aspect of it, and how the energy works, how the muscles work, how all the bones connect. You get that good, you get down that after 10, 20, 30 years, then you move on to the sage, and that's the wisdom of knowing how and when to use these exercises, whether it be for martial, for healing, for spiritual, for social. You know, it's like you can decide what you want to do with the exercises. Earlier when I brought it up, the religion part of it, Tai Chi is not a religion. The philosophy behind it could be considered that because it kind of has its roots in Taoism. And Taoism is all about balance and harmony with nature. A lot of religions kind of focus on harmony and getting along with people and stuff, right? So that's sometimes where people get kind of distracted and saying, you know, this Korean or Chinese stuff is all, you know, kind of a religion or something, and it's really not. Okay, you got a question? Voodoo. Another one of my semi-regular. I've been coming for a couple months now. I figured as much, so that's all good. So, yes, Pamela.
I sense that it's also extremely good if you have a tendency to get depression. It's really good for the brain.
Now we're taking another direction once again. So you got your mind, your body, and your spiritual aspect of it. This can accomplish many different things throughout that full bandwidth. All right? A lot of times people will see Tai Chi in the park or people doing it, and they'll go, that's too slow for me. I need something to be more active. I'm an active adult. I'm 89 years old and I'm active. I can't do Tai Chi. Okay, well, you're not going to gain the benefits of doing it then. You'll get someone like my son who's an 18-year-old, 19 years old, and he's a rowing kid. He's on the rowing team up at Syracuse College right now. He weighs 200 pounds. I weigh 200 pounds. He looks a lot different than I do. Because he's he's muscular. So he'll look at Tai Chi, and he's come to some of the class over there. He's like, Dad, it's really not that challenging. But then I have him stand on one leg, and I do this and that, and he can't do it. And he's like, yeah, okay. So, and he'll strain his back, and he'll ask me how to work on back stretches.
We hear a lot about how for bone health we need like impact exercise. So can you address a little bit, because your forms are so smooth and don't involve a lot of impact, how they help the bone?
Yes. So by the way, when I turn away, when you guys are talking, you ask a question, I turn away. I'm not meaning to be rude. I just want to keep things moving along so that we don't chew up the whole hour and I realize, I didn't get to all the stuff I wanted to talk about. So these are 3 aspects of how to make your bones healthier. Anybody ever seen those before? Tension. So if you are walking slow, you're putting your body under a certain amount of tension. If you're walking upstairs, there's a certain amount of tension that's on your legs, right, and your spine. Walking down the stairs, now you have impact. Walking can be in both categories. And anything that I put up here, it's all open for discussion. It could end up, in any of these categories. So walking is good for building bone strength. Walking downstairs is good for bone strength, but not if you're 78 years old and you had 2 knee replacements. So then it's not as much of an option. Swimming. Swimming puts your body under tension, but problem is it's not really weight bearing. If anything, it makes you more buoyant, so the muscles don't need to try as hard and the bones don't need to try as hard. It's good exercise, though. So overall, it will keep you more fit.
Why is walking downstairs not good if you have 2 knee replacements?
It can cause some problems for some people if they're walking down a lot of stairs. And if that's part of your exercise program, you're going to do stair walking every day up and down, it will start to impact your knees, impact literally too much pressure over the knee joint. All right. Walking upstairs, your knee stays behind your ankle. I'm grossly exaggerating this, but walking up, your knee is behind the ankle. Walking down, your knee ends up over the ankle. So you have more weight constantly hitting the knee joint. All right. So swimming, I highly recommend it, but it will not give you that much more bone strength. Yoga. Yoga puts your muscles and bones under tension. If you stand in this position for 30 seconds, your body might start to shake a little bit. That's the bones being activated and the muscles being activated as you're holding the position. Pilates. Anybody know what Pilates is? Anybody not know what Pilates is? Okay, so it's kind of like yoga, but different, right? A guy who was in the hospital, German, he was tired of waiting to get better in the hospital, so he started doing pull-ups on the doorways and stuff, using the equipment in the room. Pretty smart guy. So there's this other guy named Wolff, Julius Wolff, and he came up with this idea around 1900-something. I don't know. I think he passed away in 1903. That the body, the human body, and animals also, if the body's under tension, the muscles are under tension, the body will adjust and start to make the bone area thicker. The muscle and the tendon connecting will start to get thicker, and the body will start to adapt to it. So if I'm sitting in a chair like this for 50 years of my life, my spine is probably going to start to be formed to that because my body is adjusting to the strain that it's under to be in this position, and it will adapt. And the bones will get formed to that position. It'll be strong here, but when you go to straighten up, the back's not used to that for 40 or 50 years now, and it's in a weak position. So we don't want to get in that habit of our body forming to whatever shape might not be good for our health or for our posture. So Wolff's Law, tension, impact, vibration are all ways to put the bones under a certain amount of stress that the brain's going to send a signal. It says we need more bone mass. We need more connective tissue to hold the body together. Walking a little bit, swimming not so much, yoga yes, Pilates yes, Tai Chi definitely, Qigong most definitely. That's tension. Weights, definitely. Problem with weight training, oftentimes people try so much to get heavier weight so that they, in their mind, justify that they're getting stronger or healthier, that they end up injuring themselves from using too much weight in the wrong direction. Those who have been coming to my classes, anytime we use weight, it's like a dumbbell that weighs 1 or 2 pounds, and it's designed to take you through a range of motion to make the body stronger. Overall, it has nothing to do with getting bigger biceps, bigger chest, flat stomach, big thighs. That's not my weight training. Those are not the areas that you need to worry about. As you get older, who has bicep, cancer of the bicep, inflammation of the thigh? No, it's the organs. It's this stuff right in the center that's the problem that we need to stay healthy. So weights, I highly recommend, just not heavy. And use it for a range of motion, not just to make a muscle get bigger. Bicycling?
Jim,
Yes.
I have one quick question about weights. I always think weights you should do very slowly with weights, but often when we have active when we're doing kind of this.
Yeah.
What's the advantage and disadvantage of those?
All right, so to give you an example relative to our exercises here. If I had you all doing this, say you were a bit more active and a little younger and you wanted to stay here for 5 minutes, okay? Your body will get stronger in this position for 5 minutes. But what about up here? It won't be quite as strong. Up here, even though it's easier, it's not as strong as if I conditioned to be at this height. So what we try to do is go through a full range down and up when we do some of the exercises. So the muscles are strong at different heights. The joints, the bones, everything at different heights. So with that in mind, when you do weight training, if the main focus is getting the weight up and then you relax coming down, you're only working half of the muscles. If you bring it up slow and then you use tension to bring it down slow, then you're getting both the benefits. That's the tension I'm talking about. This can actually be more impact, where you're just kind of hitting the bones, hitting the muscles, you know, it's like, oh, got to get it up there. And that's usually what you'll see like high school kids doing, because they want to be strong and, you know, feel big with what they're doing. Does that answer your question? Slow, because you work at both directions.
But isn't this the disadvantage to doing the best?
Yes. Okay. We can really go on different things with this. So a lot of times why people train like that, it's either inexperience in knowing what they're trying to accomplish, or it's for power for sports. All right? So when you're lifting something for a sport, it's got to get to that point. You know, you're going to throw the baseball, you're going to throw a football. It's all the effort throwing it out. You don't care about coming back. So there is reasons for lifting weights only one direction. Okay? So those are all good things over here. Impact is where we start to have problems. Walking, like I said, downstairs, hiking. You know, these are all things some of you might be very active with doing, but really is it something that's going to maintain and sustain your health as you keep getting older? You know, as a 19-year-old, it's like, I'll do whatever. You know, I did it all. We used to do all the judo throws, Aikido takedowns, you know, swords, weapons, all that stuff. And it was pretty fun. You know, I learned a lot. My body really did develop a lot from it. But you get the occasional injury from it. You know, I injured my knee when I was 21. And I've had to rehabilitate it doing all these different exercises that I'm showing you, you know, over the years. Then I hurt my other knee in a fishing boat. I was twisting too much and my knee, I injured the inside of it. So anyway, impact is very good for developing bone mass, but if you're defeating the purpose of what you're doing and your knees and your spine are getting affected by it, then impact might be something to stay away from. Yes?